Okay, hi Aquarius. Welcome to the third week of October. This is your third week of October reading. We keep those in the deck for right now. Interesting. I'm seeing a lot of cards that popped up in Capricorn's reading, so okay, this one wants to come out. So definitely if you or the person that you're dealing with have heavy Capricorn in their chart, I would highly recommend taking a look at the Capricorn reading. Oh. Man. I usually talk about how really easy it is to get cards to jump out with this deck. I have a pretty easy time doing that, but they're being especially responsive to you guys. I think it must have something to do with the fact that you guys like consistently watch my videos. So, like I was saying about the deck, this deck is called the Ostara Tarot. That's O-S-T-A-R-A Tarot. And I should point out that this week, for some reason, everyone has had really interconnected cards. Like, pretty much every single reading has had at least one card that has popped up in another reading. And normally it's not that noticeable, but this week it was really, really big. Like, some readings had multiple cards, like half the reading was in another deck. Or sorry, in another video. Like, just now, the Queen of Wands has popped up several times. Strength, also the Hermit, your overall card, the Fool, the Page of Swords also, 3 and 10 of Swords, 8 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, Page of Wands, 7 of Cups. Like, almost all of your cards have popped up in another reading, and I've been shuffling this deck like crazy off camera, just to make sure that like it was being shuffled correctly. Like, I would divide out, I told Virgo this too, I'd divide out the deck into like 6 piles and then divide those into 6 more piles and then mix those up and then do it again. It's like, I feel like at this point, if these cards came out, it's because they were absolutely meant to come out. So your overall card is the Hermit. So I feel like you guys, for right now, have been in a position where you're very kind of closed off to the world. If with the 3 and 10 of Swords you were hurt by someone in the past, I feel like you've sort of been in a position where you have been trying to protect yourself from other people. But I feel like that's coming to an end here because you have the Justice card. Like, whatever happened to cause this energy to be in your life is now over, I feel. Especially with the Fool and the Strength. So now that I think about it, because we're talking about the major arcana now, the Hermit is the card of Virgo, which, like I said, Virgo had a lot of synchronicities like this. And then the Strength is the card of Leo, which is your sign in opposition. And then also the Justice card talks about Libras. And we are currently in Libra season. We're finishing it up. So I feel like now is a good time to really, like, if there's something that you feel needs to be said, now would be the time to say it, I feel. And like, especially if you've been sort of sitting around thinking about it, like thinking about, hey, I should say this, or wow, this person really needs to know the truth about this situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be that somebody has wronged you. Maybe you're like, maybe you perhaps have hurt someone and you're trying to sort of talk to them and get their like forgiveness or whatever. The situation depends on you and your individual scenario. But I do see that there's the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords. So this message is definitely there is a message in the works. It could be your message, like I stated earlier, or it could be a message from someone else to you. But whatever it is, I see the Queen of Wands. So I see like the ascension of this message. Because to me, the page and... the page of both suits talks about the beginning stages of the message. But like the fact that I see the Queen tells me that they've sort of owned up to that energy and they are deciding to come forward and tell you the truth about it. And like with the Strength card, I feel like whoever has been hurt is sort of listening. Because if you look, the Page of Wands and the Queen of Wands are both looking at her. And she's just sort of sitting there listening, judging, like with the Justice card. I feel like because I need to talk about the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. With the Three of Pentacles, I feel like you're not necessarily in the best mindset to work together with people. And I feel like that's sometimes a big flaw that Libras will have, is that they'll sort of give into groupthink, but that's not something that Aquarians usually have trouble with. You guys are a lot more likely to stir the pot and to say, no, this isn't right. This isn't the way it should be. We should do something different. You guys aren't scared of being unique so often. So I feel like that's why you're sort of fighting for this justice. I feel like you guys are standing up, if not for yourself, for someone else. And that scenario of standing up is like, it is coming in. I almost get like a workplace. So like I've mentioned the workplace environment before. It could be that a lot of you guys are working in like a diverse, like a zodiacally, like a very diverse workplace from like a zodiac standpoint, and just like astrologically there's been conflict. And it could be that you guys have been dancing around the conflict because of Libra season, but now it's like, especially like moving into Scorpio season, it's like, no, we need to talk about this. We need to get a better solution. And I feel like that's why this justice is like coming up, and for a lot of people, judgment. Because whatever it was that caused this hurt in the past is being fixed. With the Eight of Wands, it might not necessarily be quickly, because the Eight of Wands talks about quick communication. Sometimes I also get the like feel of modern communication, so like texts or instant messages or emails. So the fact that it's in reverse tells me that it could be somebody like using pigeon mail or like snail mail, or like just old-fashioned going up to you and talking face to face. And that might also be why you have the Queen and the Strength card, is because, sorry, the Queen of Wands and the Strength card is because, you know, they're really owning up to it. And I feel like once this is all over and said and done, you can really come out of your Hermit energy and into your Fool energy. I feel like you guys are planning on like what's going to happen after this talk or confrontation takes place with that Seven of Cups. And if it's like, if it's in relation to love, I feel like you're getting a lot of the same energy. This could be somebody who's hurt you in the past romantically, and now you're sort of sitting down and talking about it, and you can have a new beginning. And I feel like this is a really good reading for you guys. Like, even though there's pain, I see it in the past. Like, I see that you've been working on this. And with this Seven of Cups, I feel like you guys already know what's going on. I feel like with that Page of Swords, you have a pretty good idea of what's going on. It's just that, like, you're missing some like minor details or like maybe bigger details, but you have the idea with that Hermit card, because the Hermit card is severely introspective and he knows what's going on. He's wise. I always think of wisdom as like sort of common sense and logical thinking versus intellectual, like spitting out facts verbatim. So the wisdom means that you know how people work and how people function and how motives work and why they do things, the inner workings of people. And I just think that you're sort of playing a mastermind role. You know what's going on and you're prepared for these scenarios to take place. But I think that all in all, like, good reading. There's definitely hurt in the past, but I see you overcoming it with that strength card. And that has been your weekly reading for the 3rd week of October. And if you guys enjoy the content, I highly recommend that you like it and leave a comment. I would love for you guys to talk about your situations if you feel comfortable with that, or tell me if this reading resonated. I'm super interested to know. And if there's anything that you'd like to see me improve on in the future, I'd love to know that too. And if you guys are interested and want to stick around, I highly recommend subscribing. And I sincerely hope to see you guys in my next weekly reading.